Hey, hi and welcome back. Now let's start with this video, which is Introduction to Layout Editor Part 2. So now let me tell you what you will learn in this video. So in previous video, we actually covered some of the tools, and in this video, we are going to cover some more tools. Now what are those tools? Let me show you that now. So the first tool is delete, then the next one is route, then rip up, then wire, and then hole. Okay, so these are basically the tools that we are going to cover in this video. So now let's start with this video. Now let's see what happens when I try to delete a particular component. So I select this option, I will select this option, and I will click on this plus icon, and I will left click of my mouse. Now you can see can't back annotate this operation. Please do this in schematic. Okay, so it actually means you can't delete the component from the layout editor. If you want to delete the component, then you have to do that in the schematic editor. For example, let's say if I have to delete this resistor, then a resistor R1, then I can't delete that in the layout editor. I have to do that in the schematic editor. Okay, so I will just delete this component, and you can see it will actually automatically disappear from the layout editor. Okay, so I will just undo now. Alright. So after that, now I will maximize this one, and then the next option is route air wire. So you can see here these wires that you see in yellow color, they are actually called as air wire. Okay, so whenever you have to do the connection or whenever you have to lay the tracks on the layout, at that time we actually use this option route air wire. So I will select this one, and after that for example, if I have to create the connection between this pin and this pin of this resistor, then what I will do, I will left click of my mouse here, and right now we are actually on the bottom layer. Okay, so we are on the bottom layer, but this particular component that you see R1, it's actually on the top layer. So whenever you have to change the layer, what you have to do, you have to first of all, I will left click here. So right now we are on the bottom layer. Now I have to change the layer, so I will click here. You can see there are options here, top layer and bottom layer. So I will select the top layer, and I will place this wire, and after that I will go ahead and I will do the connection. I will click the left click of mouse. Okay, so that's how basically we change the layer and we lay the track if the component is on the bottom layer. Now what is this? This is actually called as wire. This is actually making the connection of this track from the bottom layer to top layer. Okay, and I will show you how exactly this look like on the manufacturing or on the PCB. So we did a connection. So I think it's not yet updated here. So it will be updated in a moment. So just a second. Let me move this resistor and let's see whether the change happens or not. So let's check one more time, and yeah, you can see. So this is basically the track. This is IC which is on the bottom layer. Then this track is actually coming like this, and then from here this track is actually connected to this hole. We call this hole or this as a wire. Okay, so it's going to make the connection from the bottom layer then to the top layer. Okay, so I will select the top layer here, and you can see on the top layer this connection is actually connected to this resistor R1. Okay, so that's how basically we change the layer, and whenever we have to do the connection from bottom layer to top layer, first of all I will select this route air wire, then I will click the left click of mouse. Okay, so right now we are on the bottom layer. Now I will lay the track. So whatever way I want to lay the track, I will do that. And for example, if I have to do the connection here, again I will lay the track at this point. Okay, so let's do it wherever I want, and after that I will change the layer. I will go to top layer. I will place the wire here. This is actually called as wire, I already discussed, and I will left click of mouse, and now we are on the top layer, and again I will press the left click of mouse. Okay, and this is how basically we did the connection, and I can show you with the help of this show option. So you can see there is a connection from this pin like this from the bottom layer, then on the top layer, and then to this particular resistor. Again, let's see in this manufacturing window. So right now we are on the top layer. Okay, this resistor is R2 here, and from here the connection is going like this through this wire on the bottom layer, and on bottom layer you can see it's actually connected to this particular IC through this wire. Then the track is coming like this, and then this is connected to this particular pin of this IC. Okay, so that's how basically we do the connections with the help of route airwire option. Okay, and in case if both the components that you want to connect, if they are on the bottom layer, then straight away the connection is going to be like this. So I will select the bottom layer first, and after that I will select this option. Then I will left click of mouse, so I will lay the track. Okay, and after that I will do the connection. Okay, so that's how basically the connection we do on the bottom layer. Okay, in the same way we will do it on the top layer. All right, and now let's say that you want to change, you are not happy with this connection, or you are not happy with the way this particular track you have connected. In that case, you will select this option, which is rip up. So with the help of this option, you can actually rip up the track. Okay, so I will left click on that track, and you can see that track is now ripped up. So you can see that track is now ripped up, and if I show you the manufacturing window, then you can see it's not available. Okay, that track is not available on the top layer. Okay, or sorry, on the bottom layer. Okay, so that's how basically we rip up the track with the help of this option, which is rip up. In the same way, in order to rip up the track, you can actually use the delete option. So if I select this delete option, and if I click the left click of mouse on this track, then you can see again with the help of this delete option, we can actually rip up the track. Okay, but this option, rip up option, is actually more appropriate, and I generally use this particular option. Then these two options are actually not that important at this moment. So let's skip these two options, fan out and auto router. After that, the next option is via option, and I have already discussed about this option. So let's select this option, and if you want to place the via on the PCB wherever you want, so you can just left click of mouse, and then that particular wire will be placed on the PCB. Okay, so if I have to place some more wires, then I can do that. Okay, so the purpose of these wires are actually, when we use them, for example, whenever you have to, do the connection between the two layers. Okay, in that case, we actually use the wire. So via is actually going to make the connection between the two layers. So for example, this is the top layer. Okay, this is the bottom layer, because here the layer is bottom, and if I select the top layer, then right now we are on the top layer. So this via is actually going to make the connection between the bottom layer and top layer. Okay, but at this moment the connection is not made. Okay, because this is simple via. Okay, it's not connected to the layers. Okay, so if I show you in this manufacturing window, then it will be clear. So you can see this is basically a copper, and it's not connected anywhere on the bottom layer. In the same way, you can see this is basically the copper. This is basically the copper, and it is not connected anywhere on the top layer. Okay, so these wires that we have placed on the layout editor, they are actually not making the connection between the top layer and bottom layer at this moment. Okay, but when we pour the plane, or when we create the plane on the PCB, and when we use the wire, at that time the connections will be made. But at this moment there is no plane on this layout editor, so we can't actually use the wire, and these wires are actually unnecessary. Now what is plane? It will be clear to you in a moment. Okay, so just wait for a moment, you will get that also. Okay, so after that, the next option is hole. So when we create the PCB, the PCB is going to have some mounting holes. Okay, you are going to mount this PCB in the enclosure. So there will be some screws on the PCB, right, in order to mount that PCB in the enclosure. So at that time we actually use this option, which is hole option, so that we can create the hole in the PCB, and then we can mount that PCB on the enclosure. Okay, so I will just left click, and that hole will be placed on the layout editor, and after that I will click on escape. Now let me show you how exactly this hole look like on the manufacturing window. So you can see this is how basically the hole is. It's a simple hole. Okay, nothing else. Okay, and you can also increase the dimension of this hole. You just have to right click, and then you have to click on properties, left click of mouse, and after that from here you can change the diameter of the drill. So let me increase it to 39, And after that, if I click on apply and then click on OK, then you can see the size of hole is now increased. Okay, so based on the screw that you are using, based on that you can actually increase or decrease the width or the diameter of this particular hole. Okay, so I hope that this point is now clear to you. So I will close this one. So we are done with the last tool of this video, and I hope that every single thing that we discussed in this particular video is now clear to you. And if you still have any kind of doubt regarding the tools that we discussed, then definitely you can let me know. Okay, alright, so that's what I wanted to tell in this video. Now I will see you in the next video, which is about Introduction to Layout Editor Part 3.